Alright, I'm going to try to finish these up. Remember these from the previous video? What am I going to do with these? Well, I need to thin it down more. I need to thin both of these down. And then put the notches in. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm going straight into this from the other one. The other video. Where is the file? There it is. Yeah, I'm going straight into this from the other video that I just... I'm going to pause this one and continue it on the next... Well, I'll continue this on another video. I'm not too tired to do, or too bored, or too frustrated to get these thinner, I hope. I don't have to do anything on the stem on this one. Maybe just a little bit. Just some little delicate thinning. Yeah. Delicate. Yeah. Nice. Not so nice. It slipped. Oh, that's weird. Okay. It's weird because I couldn't tell if I had removed the flake or not. It looks like I did, but no way to tell. I don't know where the flake went. This is I can see this is going to be a little bit of a problem area up here. Come on. Those incipient squatters are looking at this real hard. They wanna move in. Yes, they do. It's trying its hardest to try to mess me up. This is a little bit more cooperative than the last piece. Yeah. But still, once in a while, it will not produce a flake where it's supposed to. For no reason. No reason that I can see. It's got its hidden reasons. Yeah, it's got its little hidden agenda. See, I scooped it too much there with a little bite. Do you see the bite? It's like a reverse overshot, where there's too much off of this edge taken off. Can't stand it. Yeah, bite is like a reverse overshot. Yeah, like that. Why can't you always do that? I just need little flakes with no fuss. See, it's not that hard. Took it to the rock. It's not that hard. It's just a little piece of obsidian. Alright. See, that bite leaves the edge all wonky. Why do I want to thin this anymore? Because that's what everyone wants to do. They want to be able to thin. They want to see it. Want to see what the potential is. Sometimes I want to see what the potential is. Yeah. Yikes, I gotta clean that up. See that mess? I gotta clean up that mess. Yeah, it's a little bit cleaner. Still, it's got chatter in the middle. See that? Right there especially. Ouch. That almost took off too much. And that was such a tiny little platform. You're not supposed to scare me like that. Sometimes you can feel the flake travel. And you're going, oh no, did it travel really far? I'm not supposed to be able to feel the flake travel that far. I put some incipients in here. Okay. Focus. Hocus pocus. Focus. Focus so we can do the hocus pocus. It's not supposed to do that. Yeah, it's supposed to be more of a normal flake, not one that goes way over there. No, not like that. What am I doing? I'm still trying to get it thinner. And, you know, smoother. but I don't know if it's getting smoother. It is getting thinner, but it's not getting smoother. Yeah, if I do too many flakes, it ruins the previous flake scar pattern. I can't be too concerned about that, though. Yeah. If I worry too much about the previous flake scar pattern, it messes me up. How does it mess me up? It makes me do step fractures. Mostly. See, there's step fractures in here. And if I try to do a nice flake somewhere, in particular, if I mess it up by not hitting that platform just right, it's going to step fracture. Whereas if I look for opportunities just randomly, I can probably clean that up a little bit easier. But it messes up the previous flake scars because I don't care about the previous flake scars if I'm just looking for opportunities. Some might say, just look for opportunities that gives you nice patterns. You can do both. Nice pattern and opportunities. What's the problem? That is the problem. They rarely coincide. If they go inside, just tell them to come back out. No, coincide, not go inside. Yeah. Alright, I'm not going to push my luck on this. I'll just live with the little step fractures. Alright, let's thin this other one down. Yeah. It's got some translucency and transparency. Gotta put this over here because if I don't put that to the side, I'm gonna drop something on it. So I did the hard one first, so this one hopefully will cooperate in a much better way. Yeah. Yeah, and it won't, hopefully it won't be finicky. As it starts to get thin, just stay steady. Don't get too finicky as it get thinner. Don't start stepping, fracturing everywhere. Stay feathering out nicely. Be nice. Yeah, you're feathering out okay. Just stay okay. Don't have to be perfect. It's just stay okay with the feathering at the ending of the flakes. Usually triple flow is pretty good with the feathering. That's what makes it good. If this is so easy and good, why am I not talking smack and all that? Well, I don't want to mess up the tip. Yeah. It doesn't matter how good the material is, I tend to mess up the tip. At least with a little step fracture somewhere. Unless I'm very, very careful. Okay. I gotta be very, very careful. Yeah, some of these flakes are not easy. It's easy to mess them up. They're not easy to do successfully. I'm trying to hit this at a weird angle. Or hit the previous ones at a weird angle. Why? Because I wanted the flakes to travel in kind of a unnatural way, I suppose. Because the surface is really wonky. I know it's going to cooperate, so I tend to try to experiment a little bit with where the flakes can go. And hit it at a little bit of a different angle. See, like that one there? It did it. Normally I would just try to do that. But in this case I wanted to send just one flake instead of trying a bunch of little ones. And it did it. That one didn't go where I thought it was going to go. But oh well. I can always say that I meant to do it. That it was fully controlled. And everyone will believe me. No? I think that if I predict enough of them and be correct on enough of flakes, I can pretend that I meant to do this and that, and you would believe me because I have a good record for predicting. Yeah. Yeah, I learned that from a stockbroker. Yeah. Stockbroker, the tactic is you go in and you just do a bunch of cold calls to all kinds of people, and you try to get 500 clients to sign up and buy some stock or whatever it is. And then you make predictions. You're making predictions here and there, here and there, and here and there, and you're keeping track of what you're telling these people, or what to invest in. And the ones that you coincidentally gave them good advice, and they made money, you call them back, and you ask, how's it going? It's going good. The stock you recommended is doing well. All right, so would you like some more advice? I think I got a nice tip for you. Sure, tell me where to invest. Blah blah blah. Does that with the next round because he's got maybe half of them were making money, but he's only like correct half the time. Not everyone made money. Just let's say half of them, just to make it easy. He calls back that half and says, "How's it going? Did you make money on your trade?" "Oh yeah, it was good. So 2 times you've been correct twice. I got another tip for you if you want." "Sure." He does this over and over and over until he's got like 10 with a perfect record. He's done this, and it cuts down in half every time, but he'll end up with 10 people that are just eat out of his hand no matter what. Yep. Because he was successful 10 times. Or whatever. Successful in giving them advice. Not only will they eat out of his hand, they'll invest a ton of money, and he'll make a big commission. Once he gets that big commission, he doesn't really care what they invest in. He made his commission. Next batch of 500. And that's it. So you can do the same thing with Flintknapping. Get a core group of people that you've convinced that you can predict what's going on, and they'll believe all kinds of stuff that you say. Yeah. Because the other ones have already left. Like, it didn't. I don't agree with it, or it didn't do what I thought it was going to do. Or no, that was luck. They won't buy it. Yeah. But the ones that do buy it, they'll just keep on buying it. That's the way it goes. And in other words, it's kind of a con, right? You give the illusion that you know how to predict. That's what I'm trying to say. Some people see through it. They say, no, he's not really predicting it. But some people say, wow, he's predicting it. Yeah. And sometimes when you are doing this kind of con, there's no way to check if you're right or not. Yeah, like if you make a guess as to what they did in the past, and there's no way to prove it wrong. Nothing says it's correct, but there's no way to prove it wrong. So people get the impression that it's not wrong. if you can't prove it wrong, because you know you can't get a time machine and go back and check on it. So because of the fact that it can't be proved wrong, maybe it's right. Yeah. It makes sense, right? That's a logic. If it can't be proved wrong, it must be right. No, that's not the way logic works, but some people that are not educated in logic properly, that's what they think. Yeah. Or they like the explanation and they get the excuse in their head. Well, it can't be proven wrong, so I'm just going to stick with it. Yeah. Because I like the idea. I like that particular explanation. And since it can't be proven wrong, I won't stick with it. Yeah. You can argue with me all day long, but you can't prove it wrong, so I'm sticking. It's my story, and I'm sticking with it. It's kind of like a con game. Why do I mention all this? Because when you're learning how to do this, like when I was learning how to do Flintknapping, I was paying attention to what they were saying. And it was messing me up because not all of them knew what was going on. That's the downside. And some of the artifacts I was looking at didn't match what people were saying was common with artifacts and yada yada yada. They're not all nice and well made. Sometimes you'd be led to believe that they had tremendous amounts of skill back then and everything had a reason. Everything was controlled. Nope. It's not true. But you can't disprove it. Prove that it wasn't controlled. You know, you can just do the Flintknapping and after a while you kind of get the hang of what really goes on because you're actually doing the Flintknapping. And you begin to notice things like, you know what, it's extremely hard to predict the ending of these flakes. I'm trying to predict the ending of these flakes and it's just not working. Not all the time. Sometimes yes. But I can't depend on it. So it's not all controllable. You still gotta roll the dice and still gotta hope for the best. The endings of these flakes, sometimes they just do whatever they want. And it's very subtle. And a subtle change can make a big difference. Like sometimes there's a ridge going to the edge, right? To the edge of the point, like always. But there's one that's, it doesn't look like it's a big deal, but it's extra pronounced. So if you hit a flake toward it, and you're not paying attention, which nobody is really, like let's say I want to thin this spot out, if that flake touches that ridge, sometimes if there's just enough energy, the flake will continue down that ridge and then wipe out some of the other side. Just a little bit extra force from taking a flake here can hit that ridge right there and then continue because it's so perfectly perfect, and then take off a bite or take off an overshot on the other side. Just because there's a nice ridge there and no one's paying attention, that's not controlled. And that can happen on a big area as well. It might look controlled, like, yeah, that was, it's kind of wide there anyway, so. No, that was just lucky that it didn't mess it up. Luckily, it had a little bit of width. It could withstand the mistake. Yeah. That sort of thing happens sometimes. But someone that doesn't want you to see that will say, "Oh, I did that on purpose." As an example. maybe not a good example, but you know. Or someone will say, on this artifact, that was done on purpose. You can't prove me wrong, can you? No, I can't. We'll see. Yeah, but that's not how logic works. Well, if you like the explanation, that's what matters. Right? Right. No? No. Anyways, they got me in the beginning. I got fooled. Who's they? Just random occurrences. Yeah. I was thinking I can control that effect. I'm gonna try to control it, and then try. And I can't always control it. What's the matter with me? What's wrong with the napping? I'm stupid. Ah. No, it's like it's not controllable. Not in all cases, and you can't depend on it. Yeah. So you try to avoid it. That's the moral of the story. You need to know what to try to avoid. Yeah. And whatever can help you to learn what you need to avoid, that's a good thing. I try to avoid overshots and all that stuff as much as I can. Because I cannot predict it. I can't really do overshots predictably all the time. I can sometimes, but it's not like something I can depend on. Because if I depend on it and it messes up a lot. Especially with something like an overshot. But it goes for notching. Goes for working on tips. Anything that looks like it might be controlled, that had a good result, got to watch out for, because it may not be worth it, and the downsides of it may be catastrophic. So you avoid it because you're smart. Yeah, I think you're smart if you avoid them. Avoid these potential downfalls that look like the old guys used to have lots of control over that stuff. But no, what you're looking at is just luck in many cases. Not all cases, because you can get pretty good at predicting. Oh, yes. And some of those stockbrokers are very, very talented, so they're actually pretty good at predicting. They don't have to run a scam. They're actually pretty good. They don't have to call up 500 people. They just can call up 5 people because they know. But those are rare. Yeah. Those are rare. Okay. What am I depending on to get this thin? I'm depending on my ability to see opportunities. Not all of them are good opportunities, but I'm depending on my ability to see them. And I've learned to look at opportunities and sometimes create my opportunities. Every time I do the abrading and chipping on the edges with the, or brushing the edge, I'm clearing away the weak stuff and looking for opportunities. And I've learned to be better and better at spotting the opportunities. They don't always work though, but I have backups. I have more than one way, more than one place to attack a lump. Yeah. That's how I get around the issue of not being able to predict. I've got more than one way to attack it, so that if one way doesn't work, I use the other way. And if that doesn't work, I look for another way. The more the more options I have, the better. Yeah. Taking bites out so the edge is getting too thin, but it's a lot better than before. Like the other one I was just napping. Yeah. It's, even though it takes bites out, I still like the results a little bit better. Yeah. Yeah, because the terminations are better. Yeah, like I said already, the triple flows is good with the terminations, I think. Some people would disagree, but that's fine. It doesn't always work for everybody. For some reason, I can make it work. I don't know. Maybe it's an attitude. I gotta adjust my attitude for the other stuff. Triple flow just makes me giggly, but not too giggly. If I'm having too much fun, I mess up. Okay, that's it. Good. I can call it good. I love it. Yes, I do.
You love it?
I love it when it doesn't break and it gets thin. Yay. Makes me giggle. Alright. I thinned them down. Now it's just a matter of sharpening and notching, right? Yeah, I can just sharpen that. I don't need to thin it down anymore. I don't want to thin it down anymore. I don't want to. Yeah, it's got some issues with the crackly terminations. Oh well. This one, terminations are better. There's some cracklies, but I guess they don't show as much as this. Right? Or something. Let's see. Yeah, this one, you can catch your finger on these. This is smoother. Yeah. Except this one little area right there. What is it? Is it a crackly one? Something right there is hooking on. There, I got it. Yeah, there it goes. See, it's nice and smoother. All right. There you go. I like it. That's it.